Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the 2025 Tech Trends Report. But instead of just giving you a list of trends, we're going to tell you a single, powerful story. It's the story of how three separate technological revolutions are starting to slam into each other to fundamentally rewrite our world.
Okay, let's just jump right in with the number that kind of sets the stage for everything else we're going to talk about. $26 trillion. According to the IMF, that's the value of global assets at risk from climate change by 2050. It's a number so big it's hard to even wrap your head around it. And it's the backdrop for all of this, because these new technologies, as you'll see, aren't just about cool new gadgets. They're about our ability to solve the biggest challenges we've ever faced.
So to really get what's happening, you first have to understand this absolutely mind-bending reality. We're not living through one tech revolution. We're living through three distinct, incredibly powerful revolutions, all at the exact same time. We're talking about the AI revolution, the biotech revolution, and the computing revolution.
Right. These three are the engines of change. And for the longest time, we've thought of them as their own separate things, developing on parallel tracks. But what we're about to see is that those tracks are beginning to merge in ways that are going to change, well, everything. Think AI that can design brand new medicines, and medicines that can be programmed like software. Let's break them down, starting with AI.
First up, artificial intelligence. Now, for the past few years, the story's been all about size. Who can build the biggest, most powerful model? It's been a race for sheer scale. But that's changing. We're now seeing a new, and frankly much more interesting kind of revolution, the move towards smaller, smarter, and way more accessible AI.
It turns out, bigger isn't always better. We're seeing the rise of what are called small language models, or SLMs. These are these compact, super efficient models that can actually outperform their giant cousins on specific tasks, all while using just a tiny fraction of the power. And this is a total game changer, because it means powerful AI is no longer something only a few tech giants can play with.
And the big consequence of that efficiency? Well, it's leading to what the report calls the democratization of AI. This is a huge deal. The future of AI isn't just about brute force and building bigger and bigger models anymore. It's about intelligent composition, finding clever ways to combine the models we already have. And that means pretty much anyone, anywhere, can be part of this revolution.
And look, this isn't some far-off futuristic idea. It's already here. Tools like Merlin AI are a perfect example. Merlin is this browser extension that basically acts like a universal remote for AI. It gives you access to a whole bunch of powerful models right inside your web browser, so you can use AI to write emails, summarize articles, or even generate code without ever having to switch tabs. All right, let's shift gears to our second revolution, biotechnology. And here the shift is, well, it's even more profound. We are moving from a world where we just observed and studied life to a world where we can actively engineer it, where we can literally rewrite the building blocks of life itself. We're talking about editing genes, creating new organisms from scratch, and programming cells just like we program computers. And we're not talking about small changes here. I mean, look at this. We're now engineering biology with unbelievable precision. With tools like CRISPR 3.0, scientists can now target and edit single neurons. Think about what that could mean for neurological disorders. We're also creating brand new organisms, like synthetic bacteria that can literally eat plastic waste. And we're building better supply chains by programming microbes to create proteins, which means we can make things like cheese or palm oil without harming the planet. Okay, so we've got these massive, runaway revolutions in AI and biology happening alongside a third one in computing power, which just keeps getting faster and faster. But what happens when these powerful, separate forces stop being separate and start to collide? This is where the story gets really, really interesting. So this is the crucial point, right here. These worlds are colliding. They're creating this incredible feedback loop where each field just turbocharges the others. AI is helping us understand biology in ways we never could before, and biology is inspiring entirely new kinds of computers. We are digitizing life, and at the same time, we're making our computers more alive. This convergence is creating entirely new fields and abilities we could barely even dream of a decade ago. We're talking about things like synthetic biology, where we can program cells to do what we want, and brain-computer interfaces, where we can link our minds directly to machines. You know that clean line we've always drawn between silicon-based machines and carbon-based life? Yeah, it's getting blurrier every single day. And you can see the power of that blur in action right here. AI is now designing new proteins for drugs that could cure diseases we once thought were incurable. The super efficient way our brains are wired is inspiring new computer chips that could make everything more powerful.
and AI-powered robots are running millions of experiments all by themselves, just speeding up the pace of science like never before. So, what does this all mean for us? What does this new reality, born from this incredible convergence, what does it actually look like on the ground, in our cities, in our daily lives?
It looks something like this. The report talks about a forever park, and it's a perfect example. The park's infrastructure is built from self-healing biological materials. That's the biotech. It's monitored by intelligent drones. That's the AI. And the whole system is networked together. That's the computing. So when a wildfire breaks out, the park itself can contain the flames and then heal itself. But as with any technology this powerful, the promise is only half the story. This convergence brings with it a whole new class of really profound and complex risks. We're talking everything from job displacement to autonomous weapons to the very definition of what it even means to be human. And these are risks we're only just starting to wrap our heads around.
The technology itself is neutral. It's how we use it that matters. And this slide just nails that tension perfectly. On one hand, you have the utopian dream, AI helping deliver aid in war zones, literally saving lives. And on the other, you have the dystopian nightmare, AI-powered surveillance used to control entire populations.
And yet, this very same convergence also gives us the most powerful tools we have ever had to tackle those massive existential challenges, like that $26 trillion climate risk we started with. We can use AI to build smarter energy grids. We can use biotech to create materials that pull carbon out of the air. It gives us a real chance, as Sir David Attenborough says here, to rewild the world.
Which brings us to our final question. We've seen where these technologies come from and how they're coming together. But where is all of this ultimately heading? What does it mean for the future of our species, for the next chapter of the human story? A chapter where we are no longer just the creators of technology, but in some ways, its creations.
While some theorists see the end game as something they call the neural tapestry. It's this idea of a future technology that could act as a bridge, connecting our individual minds directly into a new kind of collective intelligence. Imagine being able to share your thoughts and feelings with someone as easily as you send a text. Imagine accessing all of human knowledge in an instant. That's the promise of the neural tapestry, a whole new phase of human evolution.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question, the one that will define this next chapter. Because the story of this great convergence isn't just about technology, it's about us. As we move into a future where we can connect our minds to machines and to each other, are we simply enhancing the human experience? Or are we fundamentally altering what it even means to be human in the first place?